Welcome, welcome. It is a cold night. I don't think it matters where you are. It's cold in the whole world. But the good news is this is the last of the cold, and I think spring is really going to be wonderful. So we're going to get ready. We're getting ready tonight. We're going to make our pattern of the month is 1750. It's Robin's jacket, and this is a perfect jacket for spring. It's an unlined. It's just a great jacket. I just love it. It's named after our dear, dear sweet Robin, who's a great customer, lives out in New York. And literally she was in a workshop one day and I said, I got to borrow that jacket. And she let me. So the rest is history. And Robin is still a great customer. If you're listening, a special hello and thank you. So we've been just all over this country, it feels like. I know we haven't, but it seems like we have. Puyallup was just last weekend, and we had a wonderful dinner. There was just a bunch of super nice ladies. Just imagine everybody who just loves to do what you do get together for dinner. And it's just all good. It's so funny because it just doesn't matter like where you're from. We just are so much alike. So anyway, for all of you who came, it was a really fun night, and it was great to see everyone. The whole reason I do these little get-togethers is I just really enjoy getting to know you. If you haven't heard of the trifectas that we're doing, those are just little fitting workshops, really just to kind of push you into hands-on. Really, I'm doing them for two reasons. Number one is to kind of get you to do hands-on, and I'll help you. I'll just kind of give you that little push that you sometimes need. And number two, I just learn more. My goal is to always just get better and understand how you're thinking and what you're doing, and going to those really helps me. All right, so tonight was 1750. Our goal is to, well, we have some giveaways tonight too. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. So we've got some giveaways, and these giveaways are from customers. So that's what I say. Y'all are just the nicest people on the planet. So for the fitting workshops, the little trifectas, when you sign up, you get a book. And some people have just emailed me and said, I have the book, just go ahead and donate it. So we have 2 books tonight. And then we have a fitting yourself by yourself. And this happens on several where they have a black book, or they've bought the fitting yourself by yourself, and then later on they buy the black book, and fitting yourself by yourself is in the black book. So now they have a duplicate, and they sent this back to me. And nobody wants to be named, which is, I think, super nice. Anyway, for those of you who have donated, thank you. It's really nice. And for those of you who are watching, so we'll have those 3 giveaways, and we'll do them intermittently throughout tonight so that everybody gets a chance. We don't have a way to give something away like not live, so it's only live. Only those of you who are watching live, and you're just going to type. We'll give you the keyword, and you'll just type that in your browser, and the program will automatically select a winner. The winner will email me and let me know that you're a winner of book or video, and we'll send them out. Okay, it's that easy. Okay, so we're going to start with fitting, because on a jacket, we always want to deal with the fitting first. So I did exactly what I've always said for you all to do. I really do actually follow my own advice, and that is I made a muslin. And so here we have this beautiful light blue muslin so that you all can see. And you're going to tell me what to do and where to do it. How's that for fun? You guys are going to tell me. I'm not going to tell you. I've told you plenty. You all know how to do this. I'm going to give you one clue. The very first thing we're going to do is close up the front. That we have to do. So when I made this muslin, though, I do want to just kind of talk about that, you guys. You should probably, unless you're a newbie, you probably should have the sleeve already. The sleeves, the 2-piece sleeves are all the same. They're not necessarily the same length, but they're the same sleeve. So you can take any angle changes or any circumference changes you've done to another sleeve and do the exact same one to this sleeve. Again, this jacket is an unlined jacket. So you're using a fabric that is the same on both sides, or that you like both sides. I'm going to show you some variations here and ways I got around that, and just fun things to do. I've got all kinds of little changes for you, from to make it simpler than the pattern even, and then to make some pattern changes if you feel like you want to. I really had fun, and I hope you all, the goal is to let you see how versatile this pattern is, what a great base it is, how easy it is, and then to show you different fabrics that you can use with it. So it's all good. Oh, I've got a joke for you. I forgot. This was from Puyallup. Why do seagulls live by the sea? Now, it's funny because one lady actually knew the answer to this, but it's only because she taught 5th grade. So you really have to think elementary. Why do seagulls live by the sea? And the answer is because if they lived by the bay, they'd be called bagels. And that's I just had to bring a little bit back of Puyallup. I just wanted you to know, see what you missed by not being at Puyallup. You missed these great jokes. Ha ha ha. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is close this up. And then always when you're trying on a jacket, when you're doing a muslin, if it has on the back the notions, if it has a shoulder pad, you got to put a shoulder pad in. You can't drape without a shoulder pad because shoulder pads, you know, do harm if they're not in place. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in place. Then I'm going to turn it around to the other side, and I'm going to put this one in place. All right. All right, so always when you try on, don't try on the jacket without the shoulder pads. Okay, then we're going to go L, C, and D. We're going to go in that order so that you guys are just thinking always in your brain, L, C, and D. So first, the L is from shoulder to bust point, and on a princess seam pattern, when it's a silhouette pattern, promise you won't ever have to make a change. You might think you have to, but you don't have to, because that bust circle is an error factor, and I'm not going to be that far off. So don't worry about that ever, ever, ever. In a silhouette pattern, princess seam, you're going to be good to go. You don't have to make any length adjustments. I don't care how short you are. I don't care how tall you are. Okay? So that length is okay. The next thing we're going to do is look at the back waist just to see if it's in the right space. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I don't think my thing's tight. Let me just check it real quick. Ah. I probably shouldn't have turned her so many times, huh? All right, we're going to have to leave her that low. I think we can still see. Okay, so you can see there's some issues back here in the waist, but as far as where it is to the body, I'm going to leave it. Now let me just tell you something about this particular pattern. The styling of this pattern, it actually has an elastic that's gathered back in through here. And many times I fit this jacket, women have said to me, I don't want that, just fit it. So if you don't want that, you can go through and just fit this to yourself. Do the shaping that's a little bit closer. Now this part, to get this back part really nice to you, you're going to have to kind of put it on, shape it, take it off. Put it on, kind of reach back, look and see what you need to do, and then put it back. But just to be patient with the process, take a little bit at a time. If you've done like 1950 or 1100 or another one of our princess seam jackets, those are shaped exactly to the back. But when I did this pattern, because I was making room for the elastic, I left extra. So I dropped that seam straight down. These three center back seams, or these three back seams, I'm sorry, I dropped straight down so that it would have room for the elastic. So you can see as I take these in, they really have a nice shaping to them. But only do that. I love the elastic in this jacket. I think it just says it's got a little sass to it. I just really like it. But again, it's your jacket. Now, just an FYI, when I make a pattern, there's a pattern making great little trick that I learned. And it's called a floating waist, basically. But the idea is that there's a variance of about 5 inches that your waist can fall anywhere in between that area, and you won't have to shorten it. So again, I've draped this pattern on lots and lots of women out there, and I don't think you'll need to shorten the waist, even if you're short. The waist will be fine. If you want the jacket shorter itself, you can take length off the bottom, but most likely you won't have to make any internal length adjustments. All right. Now, also, when you pick this size on the back, I'm going to remind you that you shouldn't be measuring your body. to pick a size. I know it's kind of ingrained in us to measure our body and pick a size or measure something. I want you to measure, these are finished garment measurements. This is the size you want the jacket to be finished. So I want you to measure jackets you wear. They don't have to be your favorite, but just something that you like on your body, and that will give you the measurement. So measure what you wear. It has your ease built in, and then convert it onto, just pick the size on the back by that size. What did I do with the pattern? That's under here. Okay, so look to the back. They're all finished garment measurements, just so you know. Don't worry with the waist and the hip, just go with the bust. And then within every bust size, you've got a B cup, a C cup, and a D cup. And choose the cup sizing that corresponds to your bra cup sizing. Okay? If it's wrong, I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, questions. Let's answer questions. Take up the shoulder first. No, that's actually a depth change. So we don't want to do that first. We want to go L, C, and D, just as a reminder. The shoulder should come at the very end. It's kind of tweaking. You want to make sure that you've got the circumference, the sizing okay, the length's done. Then we'll go to depth. Okay, so length from shoulder to waist, good. Shoulder pad if not in already, good. Length shoulder to bust, good. Check for length from shoulder to waist. Perfect, you guys. If you don't want a shoulder pad, do you need to modify the arm sky and the sleeve? You do. Yes, you do. I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. Let's not do that just yet. Let's get the base fit overall, and then I'll come back. I'm going to call that a style change. And so we're going to group that in. I've done that in some of these. This one, for instance, I actually did a knit sleeve. So not only do you have to take the shoulder pad out, but you have to lay your arm sky device of your knit sleeve on there. So that's kind of a two-step process, and I want to go through that and make sure you understand how to do that. But I just love that little jacket. There's no shoulder pad. It's a knit sleeve. It's a knit little jacket, and it's cute as can be. Okay, so we've done L. Circumference, again, we pick that out by your bust. If you have to add at the bottom, then you want to add equally on all of those seams. And if you're worried when you look at the sizes on the back, if the bust is right, but if you go over to another size for hips or two sizes or whatever, as you're cutting out, go over to those sizes. Just go from one size here to another size at the bottom. It doesn't all have to be one size. You know, the goal is to get it to fit, and if, you know, we want to do what we have to do. So in this particular case, I like the circumference. I'm not going to make any changes to it. I'm going to leave it right where it is, and we're good to go. I'm nervous now this thing's going to drop down on me, but we'll turn it carefully. Okay, so now what we see is we want to do depth. And again, ask questions. I have a jacket I like the armhole on, but the circumference isn't good. It's too small. Does it matter if the jacket doesn't fit? Oh, that's two different questions. Sorry. Oh, it's one. Does it matter if the jacket doesn't fit around the waist, so long as I get the armhole size? Very good. Very good. You're starting to separate parts, and that's what I want you to do. Because we can put the jacket together independently one of another, you can also take things from ready to wear independently. So, and I think that's been a hard thing for some of you to understand, because I say, okay, well, go out and find a jacket you like and measure the bust and measure this and measure this. And you say, well, I can't find a jacket I like. Well, find parts. Just put on a jacket, and if you like the circumference, it's a little harder to do it that way. But even that way is better than just completely going rogue and starting from nothing, because your research is going to take a lot of time and energy to figure out what you like. And what you like has ease included, so it's not a matter of measuring. It's the best way to do it. So yes, however, having said that, you cannot take an armhole without taking the sleeve that goes with it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to take this armhole. I really like this armhole. Armholes don't have enough personality for you to like them. You like the sleeve, and the armhole goes with it. Okay, so that's a really important part, because if you say, for instance, I like this armhole, but the sleeve is too small, then that's not going to work. You have to find something that you like both of them. Okay? Okay. I missed the pattern number and name. The website only has the February POM. No, the website has March POM. So this is the March POM, and that's okay. It's 1750 Robin's jacket. So let me just tell you that the website now has 2 POMs going. It has all the bones of the February POM, because we were out of that. We sold out. We had them reprinted. They're back in stock now. But I wanted to give you all until Friday if you wanted that pattern at a discount to give you a little more time. So that's on the front page. That's all over. But if you go to 1750, you'll see that's already been marked POM for March. I'm sorry. So both are on there right now. It's a little confusing, but just so you know that Robin's jacket is the POM for March. And until Friday, there'll be 2. But there's only 1 on the main page because I thought that's too confusing to put them both on the main page. Okay? So just FYI. Can you show narrowing the shoulder chest with a dart from the princess to the shoulder seam at bust? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's say what she just asked was that she wanted to, and I'm going to put this up just to get it out of the way. She wants to narrow how wide the shoulder is out here. And I would just recommend you do it just, not even in the seam. I wouldn't even do it in the seam. I would do it just right here. This is the center front and center back piece. You're going to do the same in the front. And I'm going to pin it. And I'm just going to taper it to nothing. It's a dart. And that nothing is going to happen to the bust and right into the seam. You're going to end it at the seam. And the only reason I wouldn't do it in the seam is because you change the styling. And so, you know, if this piece right here is narrower than this piece, and so you can end up with the pieces a little bit skewed from what they originally were supposed to be. If you feel comfortable that you're not changing that, then you can do whatever you want. But this is really easy to do it. You're just literally taking it right along the piece. And if you'll pull up those pieces, I'll draw on there and I'll show you where I'm doing this just to make sure we understand. This is a really easy change to do. You do it in the front. You'll end it at the bust in the front, and in the back it'll end about the shoulder blade. All right, and there's a couple reasons I do it this way, and I'll kind of show you why it really, really works. Okay, so we're talking about narrowing the shoulder. So we are right there. Now, I did a little bit of drawing on these beforehand, you guys. You see the thick black line? We're reducing the shoulder pad there is what we're doing. We'll come back to that and I'll show you, but I pre-drew that because I wanted you to just see it. Okay, so right here is where we're going to take a dart, and that dart's going to go right down to there. That's just terrible, but there you go. Pardon? Yeah, let's undo. I kind of found where it was, and now that I found it, I think I can do better. Now let me just tell you why I'm doing it right here. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Guys, I still feel like I've had 8 glasses of wine, and I haven't. Okay, anyway, just draw it from the shoulder to the seam. And then on the front, I'm going to try it again over here. You're going to do it here. And it's going to go from the shoulder to the seam. Now, so let me give you a couple reasons why. Number 1, if you do it right at the seam, again, it's this piece right here that you're narrowing disproportionately to this piece right here. That's my concern. The second thing is if you do it right at the seam, then you change the length of the seam and the two won't match. So if you do it internally from a dart right here to nothing at the bust point, and the same with the back, you know, 6 of 1, it doesn't matter as long as you know you can use that princess seam. But those are just why I do what I do when I do it. If you need more circumference at the bust beyond size 4, but not the W sizes, would you add equally at all seams in the bust area? Hips and waist are good. Yes and no. Yes and no. I would grade to a 5, not a 5W, to a 5. I would grade the whole entire pattern to a 5. In essence, what you're doing, but I would grade the whole thing and then come back in and slim down the waist and hip just to make sure you're doing it correctly. And Series 600 is a series, I've been waiting for this series to be out because we did a show on grading, and it is so helpful for y'all to understand how to do that, because there's many times where you need to just do a quick grade and then do some fitting. So I think if you understand it, and that's probably the first show we'll post You know, we can't post anything until July, but anyway, eventually we'll go on. But if you have the 600 series, the DVD, because I know many of you do, watch that show on grading, and it'll really show you how to do all of that. Okay? Any other questions? Are we okay? Okay. Oh, let's give away the first thing. Good, thank you. Reminded me. Okay, so our first keyword is book 1, the number 1. B-O-O-K, lowercase, book 1. Just 5 things. B-O-O-K and the number 1. That's it. Book 1. Thank you for that reminder, you guys. So book 1, we're going to give that book 1 away. And so if you guys can type it, the program will automatically select, and we'll just come back to it and let y'all know who won, if that works for you. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, can you explain the difference between the the W sizes? I could, but y'all can. It's under FAQs on the website, and you can just go there and you can read all about it. It's lengthy, and we can go back to this if that's okay. Okay, but again, FAQs, it's on the very front page. It'll take you to a page that has all those differences. Okay? Okay, so we've narrowed a shoulder just because somebody wanted to, and that's a great alteration. It's common. But with depth, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. That is a depth alteration, narrowing the shoulder. Anytime we have a dart, we're dealing with depth. Notice right in here, I've got some loose fabric. I'm going to pick up the shoulder to clean that up. Now, keep in mind that when I did this base, or when any pattern maker does the base, you drape it and then you add a shoulder pad. So you assume that the base drape is the right angle. If that base drape is wrong, then when you add the shoulder pad, it's still going to be wrong. So check your shoulder seam, and that should pick this angle up. I'm going to do an alteration that is pretty common. It's not on this, but I'm going to do it anyway just so that y'all understand how to do it. And you're going to have extra fabric at the side seam. You'll have a little bit of a diagonal. I don't have it here, but I do this alteration all the time, you guys, and I want you to understand how it happens. It's like a dart, and it's going to go from the side seam to the princess seam, both in the front and in the back. And a lot of times when you're doing it in the back, it won't stop. The fabric just won't stop at the princess seam, and it ends up taking it to the center back. And again, this is just a really common alteration on this pattern, so I want you to kind of see it. And what happens is, it's because the shape of the back and the shape of the body, the garment, actually align better now. So I would suggest that even if you don't think it needs it, I would try it just to see if it gets better by doing it. Because what it does is it kind of pulls the garment into the body, and it makes it hang so much better. If you've got a rounded back, you'll come here, you'll slice to the edge here, and you'll add here. The way you'll know is this collar, as it comes down, it won't follow the back. You guys know it'll stand straight up. And so when you slash, you'll pull this up until it lays nice around the neck edge, and then you'll put in fabric, and that's usually about 1 inch so, and you'll do that right above the blade area, above the blades. The blades are where it starts to change direction, so do it above the blades. And I like our jacket. I like the way it looks. I think it looks really nice. Okay, let's answer questions if we have them. Oh, did we have a winner?
Can you tell them to type in the keyword again?
Okay, can you guys, we're going to start again. Even if you typed in the keyword, we're going to type it in again. It's book and 1. B-O-O-K, 1. Only type it in 1, you guys. If you do it more than that, it'll kick you out. It'll kick you out totally.
They can type it in more than once.
I know. Okay. They can type it in more than once? It won't kick them out? Oh, he's saying it won't kick them out.
They need to get eligible, so they need to type it in.
They need to type it in, but just once. I thought the program would kick them out. Oh, well. Okay, could we at some point see the back of the Candosa that she is wearing? She is me? Yes, you can see the back. Can you see the back? Okay. Okay. What pattern is the top you're wearing? 197 Candosa's top. It's called the crisscross applesauce top. I can't say that without laughing because of the way the name came about. But anyway, it's on last Thursday. We put it up last Thursday. The dart you were doing, what happens to the bottom hem when you do that? Nothing. Good question, though. Because that extra fabric is hanging out of the side. It doesn't translate down to the hem anyway. So that just pulls up that extra fabric. Okay? And you'll see it's a huge improvement. I just want you to know about it because I do it so often. You may not need it, but I just want you to be aware. Okay? Okay. Are we good? Can we put our little fitting lady away? Any other fitting issues? All right, the jacket is very easy to fit. You've got all your fitting tools. In this particular case, you guys, it pulled up, but that's because it didn't need it. I just wanted to show it to you. But maybe that's a good thing because it did do crazy things at the hem and it made you think about that, but it won't affect the hem on yours. A lot of times with jackets, you've got this gapping over at the side, and that's where it will be. Although a lot of you don't recognize it, I just want you to have a heads up. Okay? Okay. So if you adjust the back for rounded back, do you just cut across the back portion or do you also cut through the side back portions? It's got to go all the way to the armhole, so that means you cut to the side back portions also. Good question. Okay? All right, we've got a winner, I think. And the winner is, drum roll please. I don't have a drum. Luann Leahy. Leahy. Luann, you won. Just shoot me an email, say you won the book. And since that took us so long, should we do another one? Are you ready to do another one? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the second book. And your code on this is book 2. We think long and hard on these codes, you guys. We just want you to know. Book 2. So again, just lowercase, B-O-O-K, the number 2. Don't spell out the word T-W-O. It's just book and a 2. Okay? Okay. So, are we good? So if you did that, ready to roll, got that? Okay, no questions. Okay, good. So can we start doing style changes? We've taken our fitting. So in this particular jacket, the reason you want to do a muslin is because if you have the side dart, which is common, or a sway back, this one didn't have a sway back, but those can't be fixed after you cut the cloth. So you're much better off. I think a muslin also gives you confidence. I just really do. It took me maybe 10 minutes to make up that muslin. Go through the fitting process and then, you know, you should be tweaking. If you're doing major changes, something's wrong. It should just take you, I mean, unless you totally don't know what you're doing, but it shouldn't take you, 30 minutes to go through L, C, and D. The pattern fits very, very well. I think you'll be very pleased. Like I said, I've had lots of people bring this one into class. So the original jacket is really made for, maybe I'll do this one. Well, no, I won't. I didn't do the original jacket just as it is. I didn't even make one exactly how the original is. And I love the original jacket. I just didn't because, I don't know, I guess you already know what it looks like. So I figured we didn't need one of those. We needed some differences. So we're going to start off at the very simplest way that I'm going to recommend you do it, and that would be this one. So this is, you guys, I don't have any of the fabric numbers. It's this fabric. It would have taken me 5 more minutes, and I didn't have 5 more minutes today, and I'm really sorry. We're working on them in the background. Thanks, you guys. Ever since this fabric came in, I just love this fabric. It's kind of like a flocked, I don't know, it's beautiful. What I love about the fabric is if you, I don't know, let's pull up the numbers so that we can see it. Brett, I think it's like, maybe try, maybe 2041. 2041? No, 20, I don't know. Type in the word, no, I don't know, you guys. I'm sorry. We'll have it up afterwards. But anyway, what I love about it is it's a little bit of a moire. So this jacket, and I've said this many, many times. Oh, is that it? Yes.
2114.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. 2114. And the reason I want to give you that number is I want you to pull it up. I don't care not to buy it or anything. I just want you to understand why it works so well with this jacket. So if you look at the lines are not like pinstripes, but it is a linear look to it. I just love the fabric. So you can't do a pinstripe and a shawl collar or a check and a shawl collar because of the softness of the shawl collar. It's not a match. It doesn't look good. It's not a match. So don't do, and I've seen, you know, when I go and look at some of the stuff you guys have made, I've seen you take shawl collars and do checks out of them. So just be aware, it's a pattern fabric mismatch. I'm totally aware that anything you want to make is yours. I get that. But I'm just saying in the world of fashion, it's a mismatch. Okay? So what I like about this, if you notice, it has a striped effect to it. And yet, it's not. It's a soft stripe, kind of. It's a feminine stripe, if there's such a thing. And so it works perfect for this shawl collar. I just absolutely love it. However, having said that, the back of the fabric is ugly. Not some, you know, this pattern, again, no lining. It only has one layer in the front. And so it expects to have the fabric turn back and just be there. And I'll show you. I did in the pink one over here. I've got that. But in this one, I just cut two facings. I didn't want to do the trim on this. I wanted to just have a nice finish. And so I did right sides. I did two fronts and two front facings. So I cut double. Now, when you're going to do that, let's go back to those pieces for just a second. You've got to remember, just again, in explaining to you how the jacket goes together, all the pieces are even. So that front face, the front when it curves and the side, they're all the same exact length. And that's because what finishes them off, if you notice, is a binding all the way around the bottom. The binding goes all the way around, and that's the finish of the jacket. So there's no hem. But now when I'm doing these two layers, there has to be a hem. The back pieces, I'm not doing a binding. There has to be a hem. So you can either do one of two things. I shortened the curve by a ½ an inch. So all I did is I cut out the whole entire jacket. Right down here on the curve. Right down here on the curve. And I'll do a bad job, but you'll at least see what I'm talking about. Right here. You're just going to cut, and I cut off a ½ an inch. Just right down there. So what that did is it left, because you have a 3/8 inch seam allowance, it left me to have a hem on the rest of the jacket. So you can see on the rest of, there's my hem. So the jacket is shorter than, the other way you could do it is to the side front, the side back, and the back. You could add that ½ inch for the hem. And that way it would just be exactly what you wanted for it to be. Okay? So that if you're leaving off all that binding and stuff, and you're going to cut two of the front facings, what it does, and the reason I really wanted you to understand this, is it opens up your fabric to be anything. You can make it out of anything now. The original pattern says, okay, you got to have a fabric that folds, and you got to like both sides, or both sides have to be usable. But doing this way changes the pattern up to where you can use anything. And so I really like that. So then what I did is I made the armhole I used my t-shirt knit. I used my 195, my sweater set sleeve. So I pre-drew that. If you want to go back to those pieces for just a second. And then I'll come back. You guys, I know that's why I say we're jumping all over the place here. But anyway, let's go to those pictures. And I drew how to take away the shoulder pad. So you can see the heavy black lines. What I wanted you to notice, and I know you know this, but just as a reminder, the widest part, if you're taking away the whole shoulder pad, which is 1 inch, the widest part at the side there is the inch. And then you notice as it cuts across to the back and to the front, it just is an angled straight line. I always just put my pieces together and draw a straight angled line from the base of the neck to the shoulder, and then take that away. So you can see that line continues. And that would be from this piece right here. Oh, sorry. That would be from this piece right here to this piece right here. It just continues. And the same over here. Okay, now the other thing is just so that you know, if you've got a 1/2 inch shoulder pad and you're taking the whole thing away, I'm sorry, it's a 1 inch shoulder pad and you're taking the whole thing away, it's 1 inch. That's what you're going to start with. All right, if you take it and reduce it down to a 1/2 inch shoulder pad, then you can just do half of that. Okay, so then once you reduce the shoulder pad, then you put your knit armhole template at the point where you've reduced the shoulder pad to, and then you would draw the armhole. So the reason I wanted to point that out and do both of those is because many of you have taken the knit armhole and you want a knit armhole, but you start at the top of the shoulder pad, including the shoulder pad. And of course, obviously when you go to put it on, it's a mess. So you've got to take away the shoulder pad and then put on the knit armhole. There's just 2 steps involved, okay? And then again, because it's a heavier fabric, I actually used my sleeve from 4218, which is the dress knit, and that has a dart in it, because it'll give it a little nicer hang on a little sturdy fabric. This has great stretch. It's a great I just love the fabric. I love working with it. Very easy to work with. Very easy to press. So with that, let's just answer questions. I left out the pockets. You can just see that. And see what I was talking about, the little elastic in the back. I just love that little elastic in the back. I think it's just a really cute touch. Okay, did you shorten the length of the blouse you're wearing? No. On mine, no. I left it. It's too long for me. Just take it off the bottom. Just take it all off the bottom and just shorten it all. What shirt were you wearing in Let's Sew for Crisscross Applesauce? I was wearing, because I've been asked this question a whole bunch, 600 classic blouse. And the fabric is, I think it's 1768. That fabric is a, I think it's St. John. Or, no, it's Max Mara. That's who it is. 1768, is that the right number? No, that's not the right number. It's on like the, how many pages are there of fabrics right now? Go to like the 15th page. Go one more. There it is. There it is right there. What number is that? Yeah. 1728. 1728. I was close. Close does not count in horseshoes and hand grenades. 1728. That's a Max Mara. Is that a Max Mara? It's a beautiful piece of fabric. So see, that is one, it's 2 yards is one piece. And so I put the floral at the top and then the check down at the bottom. I love that blouse. It's a beautiful blouse. Okay. Can you show how to redraw the sleeve cap on a 2-piece sleeve because the shoulder angle was changed? You're not going to redraw the sleeve cap. You're just going to lower that armhole. You don't touch the sleeve. The sleeve was not wrong. You're just, I mean, unless you're trying to. I mean, I guess I should come back. You always have 2 options when you change an armhole. That is to restore it back to what it was or to change the sleeve. When you take away the shoulder, you can just restore the armhole right back to what it was. You don't have to take away. The only reason the pattern knew there was a shoulder pad there is because the shoulder angle. Once you take it away, it doesn't have to be redrawn. If you want to redraw it, let me know and I'll show you. On the tops, I need to move the shoulder seam forward and change the sleeve. How would I do that on the 2-piece sleeve? The 2-piece sleeve would be exactly the same as you do it on a 1-piece sleeve. On a 2-piece sleeve, I put it here just in case we needed it. You've got your upper sleeve and your under sleeve. This is where all the action's happen. You know, this is your shoulder seam. This is where all the action's happening. There should be no changes to the under sleeve at all. So don't let the fact that it's a 2-piece sleeve kind of worry you. Just make your changes here and here just like you would on a regular sleeve. Okay? How do you shorten the length of your shirt? It's probably too generic. My shirt? I mean, just take it off the bottom. Length is styling. So you just take it off the bottom. You don't change the bust. You don't change the waist. If you're just wanting to change the length, just cut it off the bottom. Someone said you'd say that. Well, that's because it's the right answer. Okay, I'm trying to answer you guys consistently the same way. Can you show us the front facings inside the jacket? Yes. Okay, so when I did this front facing, you guys, just FYI, that snap is brand new and it's a little hard to get open. Hang on just one second. I'm just going to pry it loose with my scissors. Okay, anyway, when snaps are brand new, they're always hard to close and knot. Remember that when I did this, I put this edges together. I put all those edges together. Then I sewed them into the seam. So they are fixed into the seam here. So finish off that edge all the way around and then sew it into the side panel when you're doing the unlined. Does that help? Okay. You mentioned 3/8 seams, but you say a 1/2 inch hem. Is that for weight? Yes. It's for weight. How to do the elastic? Pattern shows you. It's all in the pattern. How do you add the elastic in the back, and what type of elastic do you use? It's in the back. It's in the pattern. Don't fret. It's very easy. I use my 2-inch wide elastic. I just cut it in half. So I only use the 1 inch wide. You could use 2 inches. It's totally your thing. But the pattern has it. It has how to cut, how much length. It has all that. Do we need to change the sleeve head when you take away the shoulder pad? Well, okay, let me just, by that question makes me feel like you're not understanding. The only reason I changed this was because I was taking away the shoulder pad and using my knit sleeve. I wasn't trying to use a 2-piece sleeve here. I wasn't trying to make a short sleeve head. So use sleeves, you know, we're playing Mr. Potato Head here. Use a sleeve that you already have and this armhole that goes with it. All right, so that way, whatever one you're using, I used my knit sleeve, so I took away my shoulder pad. I didn't change my sleeve at all. You shouldn't be changing sleeves. You should have those sleeves and armholes that work together in partnership. And then whatever sleeve you decide to use that armhole. The only thing I was trying to say to you is just start it. Once you've taken away the shoulder pad, that's where you start the armhole from. Don't start it from the top of the shoulder pad or you're going to have a mess. Okay? Okay, hopefully that makes sure everybody understands. What is the short sleeve version? Well, we're going to get there. Just give me a second, okay? I just want to make sure you understand this one. When I take off the bottom of your blouse, it hits the first layer at some level because I'm really short. Should I shorten the top layer as well? Yeah, you got to shorten both. You can't shorten one without the other. I just assumed you understood that. So my apologies. I'm sorry. Yes, you got to take both. Okay? Okay. Oh, book 2, we had a winner. Did we have a winner for that, book 2? Book 2 is A Notion to Sew. That's a cute name, A Notion to Sew. If you'll shoot me an email, peggy@silhouettepatterns.com, you want a book. Congratulations. And then just tell me when you're ready to do the third one. I'm going to go off to these other ones. We'll put her aside. She's history, and we'll bring her out. This one I did. This fabric is brand new up. I just put it up. It is, so I don't know the number on that either, but it's on the very front page, you guys. Just don't ever tell anybody I'm a good salesperson because I know I'm a lousy salesperson. What's this? $22.96. Love this. This is like a stretch. It's a beautiful fabric. It actually has a texture to it. I don't know if you can see it in the picture or not. It looks almost like a jacquard. It's really beautiful, but it's a stretch woven. Beautiful. To me, the lines of the pattern and the lines of the fabric are just a total home run. Let me pull this out a little bit so I can kind of show you more. I put it on with jeans. I've got jeans on down there and just a little white shirt underneath. This is done in leather. It's that little fold over leather because it is still an ugly back on this pattern. This time what I did is I did still cut 2 facings. So I cut 2 fronts and 2 facings. And you'll probably need an extra yard when you do that because that length, you'll take up that length. So I just put literally the two of them together. I sewed them both to the side and then just trimmed up this. Very simple to do. I didn't change the shoulder pad. I didn't change the sleeve. And then there's that cute little elastic in the back. Like I said, some just say they don't like that elastic. I just love it. I think it's a different look, but I just think it's cute as can be. And again, the fold over leather is all around, and it's unlined. So you can kind of see inside. Whenever I line the bottom of the shoulder pads, it's all in the pattern though, it says all that. Just so that when you look on the inside of the jacket, you see the right side of the shoulder pad. And that comes down. I left out the pocket on this one simply because I really wanted the focus to be up here and simple and not bring it down to the pockets. I just wanted something different. I had done the pockets already on the pink one. I made the pink one first. Okay. What is considered a jacket weight fabric? Something you'd make a jacket out of? I know that's a really smart aleck answer. You know, I would say at least 3 ounce. On our website, we call them 3 and 4, 3 or above. When you are dealing with a 2, it's just too light. Although this is a 2, no, that's a 3. I don't know. I mean, fabrics, they're just heavier fabrics. I don't know how to give you an explanation for that or how to define that. Stuff you'd wear on the outside layer. You know, this is too thick to me to make it as a shirt and then to put something over it. So it's an outer layer fabric to me. To define that, I'm not sure how I would do that. Sorry about that. What are the bindings? The binding is the leather. We have a leather trim. It's a 1-inch wide leather trim, so I fold it in half. And it's just all pre-cut. You can make your own binding on any fabric. And I've seen it on this jacket. I've seen some of you do it, and it's adorable. I just really liked the black contrast, and I wanted a black tie-in. And so I used the black leather. It's toward the very end of the fabric page, and you'll see it. It's a 1-inch wide fabric, 1-inch wide leather. It's just pre-cut for you. Okay? Yeah, and we need to have another giveaway, and then I'll show you the pink. All right, so the last giveaway, we're going to give away this DVD, The Fitting Yourself by Yourself, and the keyword is going to be fitting. F-I-T-T-I-N-G, all lowercase, fitting, F-I-T-T-I-N-G, all lowercase. If you'll type that in, then we will have, the program again will select a winner. So let's push this one back and bring the pink one up. And again, what I like about this is what you'll notice in the spring, you guys, jackets are everywhere. They're just so popular, and they're wearing them a lot with jeans. So that's exactly this look that I wanted you to see, was that I put the jacket with the jeans and just a little white t-shirt. So if it gets really hot, you can just throw the jacket in the car, but you put it on when you get out, and you just look like you're polished and ready to go, and it just looks really nice. I just love this jacket. Love it, love it, love it. I'm sure you'll see it on me as I go all over in the next little while. Okay, then this one, I wanted to do just really more casual, so I did a kimono sleeve. Pink, as I emailed out the other day, pink is just a huge color for spring. Light pinks, dark pinks, pink. Everything pink is really popular. So I wanted to just kind of quickly go over how to do this kimono sleeve. It's very easy to do. Again, you're going to take away the shoulder pad, so you're going to take away that angle like you saw me draw in those photos. Because the pattern has a 2-piece sleeve, you're going to actually put the sleeve together as if it were sewn. So what I did is I just kind of overlaid those pieces. I overlaid seam allowances on both of those pieces here, and then made that crease. And then I overlaid that crease onto my pattern like you do a kimono. I think we have a YouTube on doing a kimono sleeve. You overlap the top to take away the seam allowance, but remember, don't do it where the shoulder pad is. Do it down, lower, and then you gap the bottom. And then this portion right here is just all design. You can draw it and do whatever you want. I just really, really like this. Just know when you do a kimono, you're going to have wrinkles here. That's part of the look. You'll have them both in the front as well as the back. I did a little bit of gathering there too because I just love that look, and I don't have it on a lot of my jackets. I did do the pockets. I did do the trim. This is actually, for the portion of the jacket, this is just like the pattern. This is only one layer. So you can see that it's the right side of the fabric and the wrong side of the fabric, or whatever you'd call right and wrong, because this particular fabric works. This is, again, I don't know fabric numbers. Oh, he's a step ahead of me. He already knows I didn't get the fabric numbers. What is it?
2284.
2284. Thank you. Brett and Benjamin, you guys are great. 2284 on this. So it's a, I believe it's a rayon, so it just has beautiful, beautiful drape. And it's just really pretty. Again, with the little black snaps. The pocket, it goes in. On the inside here, you've got, again, those snaps are new, and they get kind of sticky. Let me just separate those a little bit. No, this one doesn't want to come undone. We won't come undone. Anyway, I was going to show you inside. There's 2 layers here because you've got that piece in the back. So that's what forms the pocket and gives body for the snaps as well. And then you can see the whole thing's unlined. I felt like this was just a really fun, light jacket for summer. This is almost like a blouse fabric, and yet it's done in a jacket, no shoulder pad. So you can see it's just casual, but just really, I don't know, I just really liked it. Really liked it. So anyway, so that's our different looks. You guys didn't decide which one you like the best, or create your own because you know all the parts and pieces, and then go from there. Okay, so do we have should we answer questions? Or we have a winner? Oh, we have a winner. Oh, good. Okay, that winner is Kim Welch. Hey, Kim, congratulations. You won the video, Fitting Yourself by Yourself. And again, if you'll email me and just say, I won, and just make sure we have your address. Okay? Okay, so let's answer questions. What type of finished inside seam do you use? I serge, and I just use serging threads that match, so that's all I did in all of these. I just serged. You can tape all of them. I've taped many times, just use a bias seam tape all the way down. It's just more time consuming, and so for time in the last month, I have had none of it, so I serged. Peggy, what jacket pattern did you use? 1750, it's the pattern of the month, I think. Is that the question you're asking? Yeah, is it a woven fabric pattern? It is. It is. I've done it in knits. That's a knit, and this is a knit. But I did not change the sizing when you do it in a knit, for me, because I don't want it to have negative ease. So when you're changing sizing on a jacket, even if it's a knit, it's because you want to have negative ease, and I did not. So I use the same size whether it's a knit or a woven because I want to have ease still, and I want it to have that kind of fit. Is the binding on the pink the leather too? It is. What kind of paper do you use? I'm not sure what that means, paper. Where's the black leather trim? Hey, Brett. Would you go on like the last page? It's on the fabric pages.
Page 15.
Oh, it is? It's on page 15? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, page 15, it's fabric number 1789. They're 2 steps ahead of me now. They figured out. Usually I have a list, you guys, and I just forgot. I totally forgot to do that. For current styling, where should the jacket hit? On the hip or in relation to the sleeve length? It should be a little, actually, it's shorter than the sleeve length. The jackets have come up, shortened a little bit. Not short, like not right below the waist, but if you'll take your arm and just put it down, they should be just a little bit, like 2 inches shorter than the sleeve. This one back here is a really good example of where it should be. These mannequins are great. They're just really heavy. Okay, so I'll turn this one sideways so that you can see. It's just, the jacket is just 2 inches shorter than what the sleeve is on this one. Okay, and I even shortened this one a little bit more. But the style right now is jackets are a little bit shorter. And to bring them up a little bit, you'll look taller. You look a little thinner and a little taller. Okay? Shoulder pads in the pink jacket. No. Kimono sleeve. No. No shoulder pads. Kimono. Peggy uses paper from... With a knit. Could you do the entire jacket in a stable knit like a ponte? Yeah, absolutely. A ponte Roma knit would be great in this jacket. Absolutely. Just always keep in mind, whenever I do this jacket, how am I going to finish it? What am I going to use to finish it? Am I going to use a trim? Am I going to use, 2 layers? What's the fabric I'm using? Just kind of think through those variables before you go into the jacket, and then you'll have the answers. I love using the trim. I mean, it's just really beautiful. And leather is so much easier than any other trim, because if it's not exactly even, you just trim it away. As long as it's straight there, it's just really simple to sew. So I kind of like it for that reason. Okay. Jacket length. I couldn't give you a length. It's different on everybody. Just make it shorter than your arms. When you put your arms down, your sleeves, just make it shorter than by a couple inches. Okay. If they go all the way down to where your sleeves are, they're just going to look too long. So anywhere in between that, it's usually either a 1.5 to 1 proportion or a 1 to 1. 1 to 1 is probably a little bit too short. 1.5 to 1 is probably the best proportion to use right now. The white paper that you make your altered pattern pieces with. Oh yeah, I get it from a supplier, you guys. The guy, G&M, the place that grades my patterns, they give me all the paper because they're digitized. So they have to have a certain kind of paper to digitize them into their computer, to the scanner. Okay, sorry about that. I did want to mention to you these hooks. I had an email from a lady. These are pattern hooks. So they're like this. They come a dozen in a package. I had a lady email me, and what she told me was she put to organize all of her patterns and like to put her armholes on. I thought this was just a great idea. She took and put a curtain rod in her sewing room. Behind the door, it was in a place where no one was ever going to see it and wasn't going to bother anybody. So she just literally hung a curtain rod, and you could actually do 2 of them. I started thinking about this. And so she hangs all of her patterns against the wall, but the hooks change angles, so she could hang them all, just kind of like this. But she put a curtain rod on the wall and then hung them all on the wall, and you can hang so many, especially because they're not that long. You could do 2 layers. I think that's a great place, especially if you don't have a lot of space, to hang patterns. So I wanted to mention, she said tell everybody what she did because she loved it, and it really helped her not have to fold and put the pattern back. Even if they're tissue, you can still hang tissue patterns on these pattern hooks. They're fabulous. Just don't obviously tear them, don't pull them, but you can still make holes and put the little hook through. Okay, so that's our super duper tip for the day. I don't know if it's super duper, but it's our tip. I thought it was great that she did that. Okay, so we've given away everything. We are over time or at time. Any other questions that we need to answer? Everyone's got it down? And I've got nothing else to say. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We're going to do in a couple weeks just a whole session on spring sewing. This is like one of my favorites. There's not very many in the year that webcasts that aren't tied into either PoMs or something, but I really loved because there's so many ideas that I have from shopping, and I just love to put fabric and pattern idea together. And I think it's something that we always need more and more, is to see the fabric and what am I going to make with it and to put it together into pattern. So that's what we'll do. We'll just play next time. You're welcome if you want to send in questions and answers. We'll kind of combine those things, because if there's a question that you have, a lot of times I'll actually incorporate it into a garment so you can see the results of your answer, so that you can see that it's a good thing to have. All right, so we really enjoy this. This has been a lot of fun. Again, it was wonderful to see so many of you. We've got upcoming trifectas coming up. We'll be all over the place. If you're in the Atlanta area, the workshop in Atlanta has some openings still in it. And after that, I don't even know where I'm going. It's just crazy. So hopefully we'll see you somewhere. Thanks for being here. Good night, everybody. See you in a couple weeks. Bye.